Hello, my dear friends. I know it has been a while. My grandma passed away, so I had to go to Argentina. But I'm back, and we have a lot to catch up and to learn. So let's continue and grow together. So we're continuing on the Shari Kedusha, the Gates of Holiness. We're on page 12 in the English version of the book. And we're gonna take back, I believe we were about to read from the first little chapter there. We already learned. That's where it starts from. Okay, so let's do it, and may God help us understand on a very simple level, the depth and all the secrets that exist. My rabbi again told me that we want to learn Kabbalah and we want to learn deep stuff. At the end, it's the most simple things that are really at the deepest. And the more we understand simple things, the more we will understand the deeper secret. So, although we're looking into deep stuff, which we barely understand because we're only speaking about the tip of the iceberg, the goal really is to take it and make it as simple as possible and use it in our everyday life to make it tangible. Always remember that if you learn something deep and something Kabbalistic, if you're not able to relate to it and to bring on a simple thing for everyday life, then there's no much use for it. Obviously, if you read something like the Zohar, then it's good for your soul, even if you don't understand it completely. But we are trying to do our best to bring it to our everyday life and to become, so to speak, real Kabbalist. And let's try to do it. Okay, so let's do it with the help of God. We already learned that all that was made by God is comprised of good and evil. Everything is a mixture. And therefore, whatever we do, we always have to analyze, always be careful. The reason why men put on tefillin on the arm and the head, which are supposed to be worn technically all day long, is to be constantly watching. Okay, I have a desire. Start with the heart. I have a desire. Whoa, let me control that desire. Let me tie it down, and then go to my head, because after the feeling of the head, the hand will put the head, and we say, okay, let me analyze. And then when I have analyzed it that is kosher or not kosher, what I have to do, then I go to my hand and tie the knot on my hand, and then my action has been deciding whether something is good or evil. So, and if you just go in life and you don't ask yourself, oh, is my job good or evil for me? Is my friend good or evil for me? Is my food good or evil for me? It doesn't have to be evil just in the sense that it's going to destroy you, but it affects you in a negative way. It doesn't bring you closer to God. If you eat something just like eating something fat, unhealthy, that doesn't bring you closer to God. You're not going to feel good about yourself. You're going to get fat. You're not going to feel healthy. You're going to get sick, and you can't get close to God when you're sick. At least it's much harder. So everything is a mixture of good and evil. We have to therefore analyze everything we do, every action we do, every moment of the day. It sounds overwhelming, but really it can be something natural that we're used to it. We judge technically all the time. Anything you go out and you look at the weather, you judge. You go at your place and see how people dress and who you talk to. We judge all the time. So really, we do it all the time. It's not really overwhelming. It can be almost a game, a holy game. Okay, so the four physical elements are the source of the guf's, of the body's vitality. On one hand, and the source of its disease and its four gals, the white, the gal, the green gal, the black gal, and the red gal on the other hand. So we said that we spoke about fire, air, water, and earth. And those are the source that brings, comes from the name of God, Yud Kei Vav Kei, corresponding to the 4 elements, and that gives the energy and the power for the body to be alive. And on the other side, the negative aspect is that you have the 4 gals, the 4 type of liquids that you have in you, the 4 colors, which brings diseases. Okay, so we're explain a bit more. And as these 4 physical elements, which are called the matter of the element, the physical, the materialistic part of the element, are comprised of good and evil, so do the 4 elements of the soul, which are called form. So everything physical is a reflection of the spiritual. Everything reflects the other side. So there's 4 positive and 4 negative. The 4 elements of the nefesh, of the soul, are the source of the health of the human basic, the foundation soul, whereas the 4 impure shell, klipot, are of the soul, are the source of its diseases, which are the evil character traits. So we have the good character traits that are corresponding to the 4 elements, and you have the bad character traits corresponding to the part that is negative in the elements, and exists on a physical level and on a spiritual level, on the body and the soul. But here it's saying something very fascinating, because it's saying that the bad character traits, your bad character traits, are what brings diseases. This is like probably the greatest secret for people today. How many sicknesses do we have today? Everybody is sick. It's scary. How many cancer? How many incurable diseases, so to speak, are there? And there are thousands and thousands of people dying every year. And here it's telling you, you know why those diseases exist? They're a consequence of evil character traits. So, and it's telling you, you want to be healthy in life, work on your character traits. And now it's proven by science, in quantum physics and science and neuropsychology and I mean, it's everywhere. Like, now the science comes to prove what these have been saying for this is only 500 years old, but these have been here since Abraham. So what it means is that the more you work on yourself, the more happy you are, the more harmony you have in yourself. That's why meditation, yoga, all those things help, because they enables you to start loving yourself, bring positive energy in you, looking good at others, loving others more. When you do that, your good character traits becomes dominant, and you cannot get sick. And we think sickness happens just like that. You get sick only if God discreet so, or if you go in the system that God designed that makes you sick. Sickness is a wake-up call. It's like you have to fix something. Especially when it's a very delicate subject. People who have cancer, usually, all the people I've met that had cancer were dealing with something specific. Sometimes they were aware of it, sometimes they're not aware of it. But you have to go to the root of where it comes from, the place of the cancer, everything. It's a long discussion, but the idea is that you want to be really healthy in life, work on your character traits, remove your evil character traits. So, and it says, and when the soul removes the impure klipot, the impure character traits, the shell that's represented by the evil character traits, and puts on the 4 letters of the Shem Havaya, the name of God, Yud Kei Vav Kei, then so which are the reviving lights of the foundation soul, then the soul and the body become the Merkava, the chariot of His Holiness, blessed be He, in the world of Asiya, in the world of action, exactly as the spiritual soul, the higher soul, that observe the mitzvot, as we described before, and he says about that is going to be explained in the third part of the second gate. So we know. So the same way, the my higher part of the soul that is in charge of the 613 mitzvot, because 613 parts is when it does a mitzvah, is bringing holiness into itself and into the world. So too, the physical part of me, the lower soul and my body are becoming a chariot for that holiness. It's basically saying when I do a good action, when I work on my character traits, it's as if I do one of the 613 mitzvot. It is doing one of the 613 mitzvot, but it's a parallel, and therefore the same way the holy soul does a mitzvah and brings holiness, the same way my good action, my good character trait brings holiness. So here it teaches us the definition of being holy. You know what it means being holy, the beginning of holiness? Working on your character traits. Working on your evil character traits. Know what's bad about you. Analyze yourself. Where am I negative? Where am I destructive? Self-destructive, destructive with others. It's all about that. What are my tendencies? If you don't do that, you cannot even start being close to God. This is that those things. It's not that you are evil. It's a shell. It is given to you as a test for your life, as a test to not just as a test, as a mission. There's a test. Your test is your mission, but it's your mission. You were given those things because those are the things that you have a mission to do. So that, and one guy has a mission to work on anger. That guy has a mission to work on sexual desire. That guy has a test to learn to work on arrogance or depression, sadness. So it's going to explain very soon the how to really work on it, the root of it. But we have to understand that this is so important if you want to be healthy, and if you want to bring holiness, to be holy. That's where it starts. Okay, so it says, it continues. Remember and do not forget that by studying the Torah with its 4 ways of interpretation, which are called pardes. Again, just remember these 4 levels of learning Torah, and that's where a lot of people don't realize, right? Pshat, Remez, Drush, Sod. Pardes means garden, means paradise. The word paradise comes from pardes, paradise, the same letter, so to speak. So Pshat is the plain meaning of the text. Then it goes to Remez, which is allusions, a deeper meaning. Then the Drash is metaphors, homiletic explanation, and the Sod is the secret, is the Kabbalah, which we're trying to learn now, is the system, the matrix behind the things. And he says the higher Ruach, the higher part of your Ruach, I'm looking here to in Hebrew translation to make sure it is widely translated. Okay. Okay, so the same way there was the lower nefesh, the lower animalistic soul, so to speak, and the higher part, so too we have the ruach. We know we have 4 levels of the soul, 5 levels of the soul, but we speak always on the 4 main ones. For first, which is nefesh, ruach, neshama, yechida. So the ruach, the higher ruach, which is the higher part, we have the lower one corresponding to just like the nefesh that we discussed before. So the ruach part, the holy part of the ruach, kiseh shel Hashem, is the throne of the name of God, Yud Kei Vav Kei, shebe'olam ha'yitzira, in the world of Yitzira. Every soul corresponds to one of the 4 worlds. So the 4 levels of interpretation of the Torah, 4 levels of the soul, 4 worlds. Each one corresponds to the corresponding world and dimension. So here it's saying that we are bringing God's name, Yud Kei Vav Kei, this able to come lower. Right? What we're trying to do as Jews, we're not trying to reach God and to be holy and disconnect from the world. No, we're trying to bring God down in us, bring God in our physical life, and to bring the spiritual in the physical, and to elevate the physical with it inside. So this corresponds to the world of Yetzira. It's Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya, and it corresponds to the world of Asiya, Yetzira, Bria, Yetzira. It might be confusing for people. So I'll show you a chart that will might help you understand the different levels. Okay, so here we go. Try to think which one is the best really for you to well, let's put it like that. We'll discuss it another time, but basically there's the world of Asiya, the world of action, the world of formation, Yetzirah, the world of Bria, and the world of Atzilut. This is our physical world. This is the world of angels. This is higher angels and the root of our souls, and this is the world of just Hashem, Hatzilut. Then this is the fifth level where everything is united, but for now, those are the four. So those correspond to the four levels of the soul: Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, and Chaya, which we could translate as our basic instincts, character traits. Then the Ruach, which is our more emotional, spiritual, emotional desires that we have. Then we have the Neshama, which is more the intellectual part of ourselves, our thoughts, our basic level of thought, intellectual. And then Chaya is spiritual, which is transcending even the physical and down, connecting to the spiritual world. Yechida is when it unites everything together. So it corresponds. So all these, why we say, how does it start with? It starts with the name of God. The name of God itself represents those four worlds. Here you have the fifth one, which is the top of the Yud, where everything started. The pond. This is the Big Bang, guys. The Big Bang. The beginning of everything. The first point. They say that the Big Bang, even in science, they start with the size of the grain of rice. So that's symbolic of this. The top of the crown of the Yud, which is one little thing. So that's where Big Bang started, so to speak, on the spiritual level, and then the physical level. Then they have the four levels, which correspond to the four levels of the soul that we just saw with the four worlds and the four elements that we're discussing here. So with this, it gives you a bit of an idea. I always need charts and to be visual to be able to understand things well. So, and so he says, so that he's saying that when you learn Torah on those four levels, then our different parts of the soul, the Yetzirah part of the soul, which is the second world, the world of Yetzirah, becomes the Merkava, the chariot for the holiness to come down. And if we use our intellect, and by thought and reason, the holy soul becomes the throne of the holy nefesh, becomes the throne of the name Havaya, which is really the neshama, the name of Hashem in the world of Bria. So he's telling us, basically, he didn't say the nefesh, the lower part of the soul, but he says the ruach and basically the neshama, which means that, here that's a wrong translation. This is nishma, so here it says nefesh. So that's the idea that on the lowest level, our foundation soul is correspond to those four levels. the four elements, and we have to work on character traits. So if we work on our character traits, then we are able to bring holiness and into our basic instinct, the lower part of our soul. And that's the preparation to do all the mitzvahs. But not only that, what about my other part of the soul? So the nefesh, the lowest part of the soul we have discussed, is mostly dealing with the character traits. That's how I bring holiness into me, and that's how I'm able to do the mitzvot and do mitzvot in a holy way. But not, what about the other part? So the ruach, the second part of the soul, which corresponds to the world of Yetzirah, and the neshama, though the way to bring holiness into them is by learning the different part of the Torah, the Pshat, Remez, Drush, and Sod. Right. Okay. So that's what I think why he wants to add that here. He's saying you have to work on midos, but make sure you learn Torah to elevate the higher part. So you're working on character traits will only be able to fix the lower part of your soul and bring holiness in the lower part of your soul, but you're not going to be able to do it if you're not also fixing your ruach and your neshama by learning the other parts of the Torah. Every level of the soul, every there is a Yud Kei Vav Kei, there's those four elements, and therefore those four elements, for them each time to go down from very high to very low, you have to fix something for each part of the neshama. So that's basically what we're saying. Okay, so actually I think we're gonna stop here and continue our next part on page 13. We didn't cover a lot, but it helps us understand those four elements, and it was, I think, a lot of information anyway. All right, looking forward for the next class.